and I don't mean to sound excited about that. I'm not excited about that, but he's probably the backup, right?
Yeah, I think so. Jake Browning still has a lot of, maturity as far as getting to know where his read should be, and I'm not sure that he's got quite an NFL arm. It's average to below average, I would say, at this point. Kyle Sloter, everybody loves to love on Kyle Sloter, and he's had some great preseason games, which haven't really been in line with what he is showing in practice all the time. I think he's improving. I think eventually he has the potential to compete for a number 2 spot. But right now, Sean Mannion threw 2 interceptions today in practice, and I just don't think that's really going to matter. I think, first of all, when Mannion threw those interceptions, it was all rookies that he was throwing to and rookies that were coming away with the picks. So I don't necessarily know that it was all just on Mannion. It could have been guys in the wrong spot. But he's got the best arm of those 3 potential backups. And he's got the most experience, although he hasn't played in a lot of NFL games. He's got 4 years of NFL experience. So I'd be surprised at this point if it's not Sean Mannion at number 2.
I would be surprised as well. Just overall impression of the offense and the defense from watching them?
Today, Wednesday, the second day of minicamp, it was all defense. That said, it was a lot more second and third team stuff that stood out rather than first team. I think they want to get these younger guys a lot more looks than they may get, say, 2 weeks into training camp as they start preparing for the preseason. But, Mannion threw a couple of interceptions. Chris Boyd came away with 1. Marcus Epps, a 6th or 7th round safety that they took. I can't remember which round he was taken in. He came away with 1. Really the defense looked really good today. Daniil Hunter came away with what would have been a sack if they were actually tackling. Ade Aruna, who's a second-year guy at defensive end, massive guy. You look at all these big defensive linemen, and yeah, they're all big and they're, tall. Aruna just stands out among them. Now, he's going to be raw because he got hurt last year and didn't get a lot of chance to hone his skills, but he could be a practice squad guy that comes in. To me, at this point in the season, you always hear about the defense being ahead of the offense, and that is especially true this year because the defense has all the veterans returning. They know what they're doing. There's some tweaks here and there that Mike Zimmer is making to the defense and just kind of experimenting and seeing what might work. But the offense, it's essentially new for everybody. I came into the offseason thinking, okay, Kirk Cousins should have a pretty good grasp on this offense because he played in a similar one in Washington. He kind of downplayed that when he was asked about it today, saying, yeah, you could say that it's the same scheme, but there's only certain parts of it that carry over, and the terminology is completely different. So it hasn't necessarily eased the studying that Cousins and everybody else has to do with this offense. So I think some of them are still kind of trying to work through it, and then you have an offensive line that's a lot of new parts there and a new blocking scheme. So they're really trying to put a lot of things together. So I'm not really that surprised that the defense is ahead of the offense.
Let's wrap up by telling people how old we are. Once again, thanks to Twill and the Edina Galleria, SodaStick.com, Tony Hoaglund, and who's your State Farm agent who works out of Champlin, and BiteSquad.com. Promo code is TALKNORTH for your first delivery fee waived. Steve Jordan. I covered Steve Jordan, and now his son is getting a contract extension. That means I'm old.
Yeah, and it's quite the week for the Jordans,
yes,
actually, because the Vikings announced today that Steve Jordan's going into their Ring of Honor in October. And it was kind of cool. They actually surprised him. He came up here thinking it was an opportunity for him to go to this Taste of the Vikings event that the Vikings had on Tuesday night and kind of mingle with some, probably corporate sponsors and people that wanted to buy tickets to this event. And then he was going to talk to the team on Wednesday morning. Well, he didn't know until Kevin Warren introduced him as the newest member of the Ring of Honor, and you could tell he was genuinely shocked and appreciative of it. And then, as you said, his son, Cameron Jordan, gets a big extension with the Saints. So, good week to be a Jordan.
Absolutely. And I covered Steve. He was a lot of fun to have around. Nice to see him honored. We're just honoring everybody these days. Joe Mauer, Lindsey Whalen, Steve Jordan. That's what the sports world does. We give people honors. That was a stupid ending.
I thought you wanted to end.
That was a stupid. No, it's a stupid ending. I just, But you know what? This is the way we do our podcast. We don't edit out our stupid stuff. It's part of the charm of the network. Is our stupid stuff is in the shows.